Having a child is the most beautiful thing that can happen to an individual. For me, I had a child unexpected, didn't really plan for it, and then all of a sudden I found myself in a position to where I'm going to be a father in 9 months. I was one of those who went into a shock. I dropped out of school and thought that I had to go home and work and make sure that I had enough money for this and that, and I didn't really handle it well, but I think having the opportunity to be a good parent and having your goals on the side, I think that it is possible. I think that you can finish school. I think that you can finish the things that you want to finish. It's important that when you are raising your child that you show them that these things are possible. Just because their life starts doesn't mean that your life has to end.
My name is Armand Perry. I'm a professor here at the University of Louisville in Louisville, Kentucky. I teach in the School of Social Work, and I conduct research on fathers, families, and romantic relationships. These are areas that are of interest to me because I come from a place that is socially, politically, economically disadvantaged. And when I was growing up, I decided that if I had any talent, I wanted to use it to help people. When I think about resilience, ironically, what I think about is being in a street fight, right? If you're from where I'm from, you may have been involved in a fight a time or two. And you know that if you're in a fight, the first thing that's going to happen when you stop swinging is that you're going to get knocked out, right? And so life is a lot like a fist fight or a street fight. The only chance you have is to keep swinging. And so when I think about resilience, I think about being involved in a fight. Life is such that from time to time, all of us are going to get knocked down. And when that happens, it's not our fault. That's just the way life is. However, if we stay down, I'm of the belief that that is our fault. And one of the things that separates some people who are really successful from people who aren't is that some people are just a little bit more resilient. They're willing to keep getting up time after time when life knocks them down. So that's what I think about when I hear the word resilience. When I think about young people who have found themselves in difficult or adverse situations, my first piece of advice to you would be to try to create a vision for your future, even one that is beyond your immediate circumstances. So in other words, I understand and recognize that things may be difficult right now, but you also have to realize that there is tomorrow and you have a long life to live. So you have to be intentional about creating opportunities for yourself in the long term. And so if I were giving you advice, I would give you 3 pieces of advice. The first one would be to spend time thinking about how you can more effectively manage your time. So many of us have a lot of things going on. I would imagine that you have a lot going on as well in your life. In order to get all of those things done and get them done efficiently and effectively, you have to become organized. You have to be effective in managing your time. You only get 24 hours in a day. You got to make the best use of it possible. In addition to time management, you also have to remain perseverant. We were just having a conversation about resilience, and perseverance, I think, is directly related to that. Again, life is such that you're going to get knocked down from time to time, but in order for you to be successful, in order for you to overcome whatever difficulties and adverse circumstances you find yourself in, you have to remain perseverant and continue to be willing to keep getting up. The last thing I'll offer to you is social capital. And in my field, when we talk about social capital, basically what that means is whether or not you are connected to the people who can put you in position to showcase your talent and ability. You may have heard people in your life talking about the idea that what you know is less important than who you know, and that's absolutely true in many circumstances. So you have to figure out ways to get connected to people who can put you in position. Think about who's doing what it is you'd like to do, and try to work to establish or cultivate a relationship with them. And if those relationships aren't established naturally and organically, then if you figure out ways to be of service to those people, then you can become valuable in their eyes. That's the way you can get connected to them and figure out ways that they can help you manifest and act on whatever your intentions are based on the vision that you created for yourself. Failing forward is a really, really interesting concept, and one that I have quite a bit of experience with, right? So when I think about failing forward, what I'm thinking about is just the idea that one of my favorite musicians talks about, has a lyric in the song where he talks about the idea that he never loses, either he wins or he learns, right? So in other words, failing forward is about making sure that you don't lose the opportunity to learn from an opportunity where things didn't go your way, right? We're all going to face adversity. We're all going to have situations and circumstances where things don't work out for us. The question is, what do we do with that, right? Do we just take the L, as young people sometimes say, or do we take that L and then use it to create fuel and motivation for coming back bigger, better, stronger the next time? And when we do that, making sure that whatever lesson there is to be learned in taking that loss, that we do that, right? So again, it's just about being focused, it's about being intentional, it's about being open to learning, so that if and when things don't go our way initially, there's still opportunities for us to revise our thinking, revise our actions, revise our behavior, so that next go around, we don't make the same mistakes over and over again. Yeah, so we've been talking a lot about creating visions for your future. We've been talking about long-term planning. And with that, I think it's important to build some momentum, right? If you can envision or imagine sort of a snowball rolling downhill, it starts small, and as it picks up speed, as it picks up steam, it gets bigger and bigger, and it becomes more and more formidable. And the bigger it gets, the faster it gets, and the faster it gets, the more likely it is to continue to roll down the hill at a really, really rapid pace. And so what we're talking about now is we're talking about long-term planning, but we're also talking about the importance of getting off to a good start. So finding small wins, finding subtle ways to be successful so that you can build up some confidence, right? And so I think that's important for folks out there who are looking to manifest their futures in ways that may be beyond their immediate circumstances. Figure out the specific and actionable steps you can take to get to your long-term goal, but start small, right? There are things that you can start doing in the here and now to prepare yourself for whatever those long-term goals are. Start there, give yourself time, give yourself grace, be patient with yourself. Start to get some early wins so that you can build up the confidence and the momentum that you'll need to carry you through when times don't go according to plan. If you think about the totality of what it is that you want to get accomplished, it can be overwhelming. It may be daunting. It may be so far into the future that it's difficult for even to wrap your mind around it. So the last thing I would leave you with is something that has been shared with me that has helped me when I found myself in situations that I thought were sort of overwhelming or sort of so big and grandiose that I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And it's just the idea that if you had to eat an elephant, right? Like, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? So if I could leave you with anything, it's as you wrap up the time together, keep reflecting on what you've learned, keep reflecting on what it is that you want to do, keep connecting yourselves to people who can help put you in that position, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. Know and understand that there are going to be times when it doesn't go well, or when that happens. Give yourself grace. Continue to take it day by day. Continue to take every day to create a small win and continue to build up some momentum so that you can move forward in a way that helps to build up your confidence, to help build up your capacity, so that eventually when you look back 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you'll be able to point to the version of yourself that you are today and say, that person set me up for success.